Let's get right into it.
Our first guest is a powerhouse of healing and transformation. Ameenah Tabani is a clinical and counseling hypnotherapist, a Reiki master, and a rapid transformational therapist. She's also a spiritual and intuitive business coach who specializes in inner child healing, past life regression, and trauma recovery. With a deep understanding of neuroscience and spirituality, Ameenah helps her clients unlock their highest potential and break free from emotional wounds rooted in both this lifetime and those before it. Ameenah, welcome to Flying Upstream. We're so glad to have you here.
Thank you so much. Um, yeah, I mean, I had my first experience, and that led me towards understanding of the eternity of soul. Um, I am just a bit confused to where to start my life from because I had discovered seven of my past lives. So, the first one I would just, quickly talk about is that I was sitting in a cafe, though it was not my first discovery, but it actually led me to the goal, the soul path, or my soul purpose just gets so obvious. I was sitting in a coffee shop and there was one lady, she came to me and she just talked. I mean, I didn't even started my work here in a different country, like in Canada. I live in Canada. I moved here from Middle East. So I was just sitting with my daughter. I did not started my business yet. Nobody knew me. And she came to me and she said, you know, you helped me in my past life and I know you can help me in this life too. So that was a big shocking statement because I did know I had discovered my lifetime. That was my work, but here nobody knows me. How she knows? So it was a double confirmation, affirmation that, oh, wow, because our critical mind is constantly at work.
That's beautiful. That's a great way to open this up. Thank you so much. I can't wait to dig more into that. Dig more into your experience and all of that. And for our next guest is no stranger to flying upstream. And we are so excited to have her back. Shelley Devine is a best-selling author, a psychic medium, a Reiki master, and an intuitive artist. She guides others in reconnecting with their creativity and personal power through her transformational program, Awaken Your Creative Spirit. Shelley's insight into the spiritual realm and her ability to channel through art and energy is truly one of a kind. Shelley, welcome back. It's always a gift to have you here.
Thank you. I just love you guys so much. I'll be on your show anytime you want. We have a lot of fun. Um, yeah, so I just real quickly wanted to follow up with what Ameenah said. It's like when you meet somebody and you feel like you've known them forever, or you meet somebody and you're like, I know you. They're like, yeah, I know you, but you cannot figure out where you've ever met. You know, it's that feeling. So that's really cool, and I have lots of stories to tell because I've had a lot of past lives.
It's amazing. We're looking forward to hearing them. And last but absolutely not least, we're joined by Jessa Davidson, a Reiki master, pranic healer, and intuitive tarot reader. Jessa is a gifted starseed light worker and channel working with clairvoyance, clairaudience, and sentience to guide others on their spiritual path. Her deep connection to divine energy and multidimensional healing makes her an incredible voice in this conversation. Jessa, welcome to Flying Upstream. We're thrilled to have you here.
Wow, what a warm and like empowering introduction. Thank you. Yeah, I would like to just go off of what they were saying. I think the way I've noticed it the most is in my relationships, with whether they're soulmates or the one I've noticed the most past life connection with is twin flames, where where you can there's a connection deeper than anything, any soulmate. Like, you just know each other's soul. You can basically read each other's minds, and it's just like you're one energy, and it's because you've lived millennia together. And yeah.
It's amazing. I'm so excited to keep going with all of this. Now that we've met our guests, we're ready to kick things off with a fun game of 2 truths and a lie. You will each share 3 statements about yourselves, 2 true and 1 false. The rest of us will guess which we think is the lie. All right, Jessa, would you like to go first?
Sure. I thought I was gonna go last, so you put me on the spot. Yeah. So I have a trans sibling. I have 6 siblings, and I have never been to Florida.
I'm gonna go with you. I've never been to Florida.
No, I haven't.
Oh, wow, you got it, Luisa.
First
I was
try.
gonna say there's 6
Yeah.
siblings.
6 siblings, that's quite a big family.
So that's actually the lie. I have 5
Wow.
siblings. One I've never met, 4 sisters, but one's a trans, and then there's me in the middle. So that was the lie.
Aw, amazing.
Good. That's awesome. Okay, so Shelley, you are up next.
Okay. I have horses. I have 1 son. And I have. I wasn't prepared. I have. I'll just go with what. No, I can't do it. I'm bad at this.
It's okay, take your time, take your time. This is just...
Horses, 1 son, and 3 sisters. Yeah.
Well, you seem like a horse person to me, so I'm gonna guess that's not the lie.
Right.
You
I've
seem
got
very,
4.
like in tune with animals and their energy. What do you think, Ameenah? What's your guess?
Okay. Yes, I mean, I go with you. Yes, it seems like a lot of energy and intuitiveness. So definitely, you know, not that one.
Okay, which one?
I'm gonna
I
go.
think it's the last one. 3 sisters.
3 sisters.
That's
No,
what I was gonna
no,
guess too.
I can't even remember what I said.
So that was definitely a lie.
Feel that on a deep level. My
Okay.
memory's so bad. It's funny that you can remember past lives easier than you can remember, like, like, that's the funny thing about energy and all that, like,
Yeah.
it's ingrained in us.
Like my head is so full of all this spiritual stuff that I can't even like come out here and try to figure out a lie.
All right, that was fun. That was fun, though. Ameenah, are you ready? Do you have 2 truths and a lie?
I definitely have. I do work with conscious, subconscious, unconscious mind too, so it's always present now. So I'm from Middle East. I'm a clairsentient, a gifted clairsentient, and I am a past life regressionist since last 25 years.
Wow.
That's hard because those all sound like true things.
Yeah, but I think the trick is the past life regression, I get totally true. But for 25 years, maybe that's the
The
Yeah.
nuance. Yes.
fib.
Yeah, that's my guess too. It's the number of years about past life regression is inaccurate. Not necessarily, yeah. That's what I'm
Just
about.
Anybody
yeah.
else?
I'm going to guess that you're not clairsentient. We'll see. Maybe there's another Claire that you're stronger in.
Mm.
Okay. Any more guesses or should I go?
I want to
Jessa,
know.
done?
I don't know which. I forgot what the first one was, so
Okay.
I'm right there with Shelley.
So, can I go now?
Yes, we're ready.
Okay. I am not from Middle East, so I am a past life regressionist for last 25 years. I look young, but I am not. And yes, I do have other clairs, but yes, the clairsentient part is very much dominant too. So the first one is a lie. I am not from the Middle East. I am from Pakistan.
Ah, you got
That
us on
was
that one.
good. That was
Yeah.
good.
But I lived in a Middle East.
Yeah, that's where you got us because you said you
Yeah.
were from, like you had said
Yeah.
that you
I
came
said
from the
I
Middle
came
East.
from Middle East.
That is
Yeah, so that you tricked us. That was a good one.
True. Good
that
one.
was awesome. That was good. That was really good. Okay, so let's have fun. Let's dig into the topic. I love this topic quite a bit. And I want to kind of start at the beginning because if any of our listeners or any of our viewers don't know anything about this topic, I kind of want to be able to get them right at the root, right at the beginning. And so if somebody is totally new to the idea of reincarnation, what core spiritual truth or belief do you think would help them make sense of past lives and the fact that they can shape our present day experiences? And we can start with Ameenah.
Thank you, Luisa. For actually, I would bring here a little bit of physics, okay? Because now we can say that at this point we are very much in conjunction with metaphysics and the spirituality. It was hard for us to explain that when we look back, some 50 years ago. But now we are at that place where people do understand a lot and they are very enthusiastic that, okay, yeah, it makes sense. So the moment it makes sense, we are more focused. So the basic rule, energy cannot be created or destroyed. Okay. So that's mean that, okay, when we talk about the soul and we talk about the essence of the soul, then we talk about the personality aspect of us. And then we talk about that, okay, what does it mean that we are part of that spirit? Okay. And why we are coming here to get separated. So like Rumi said, that we are the entire ocean in that one drop. Okay, so that means that all essence of that spirit, so that means the divine is present in that one drop that we are. So that's a fragment of the same essence. Okay, and then we are here to evolve as a soul. So there are young soul, and then we say there are old soul, and you can see that sign. So people who have taken multiple experiences of that evolution, they look like that they do know. So people who are very aware. So anybody who's interested and listening at the same time or watching, they are the people who actually connect. So that means they are aware in some way, somewhere, right? So these are the experiences that led us that, okay, I do know. And the same thing Shelley said, that we meet somebody and we definitely recognize that there is some connection. So there's a close soul group, okay? And we actually have that soul contract with them as well, that if I'll be falling down or if I don't remember my milestone, you will jolt me. So the good experiences, the bad experiences, I would not say a bad, but the challenging one, it's all the part of that plan. And we start with that okay, it does make sense when we look into that atomic and subatomic places. Now we do know how it works, that we all are connected. Okay, so that's again not something that cannot be proven. So here it is, that is my definition, that we soul is eternal. It takes time to evolve here, and earth plane is the hardest plane because we have to deal with a lot of emotional and challenges that our mind, because we have mind, right? And mind's first job is to keep you safe, and when it keeps you safe, then you have to look around for those conditioning and the protection. Then you forget that who you are as a soul essence, and that's the challenge that you have to remember. It's not that it's not there. You have to remember who you are, and once you will remember who you are, then you see the opportunities, because you do remember why you are here, and your priorities change. So we are coming from that survival mode to that thriving part of it, because we do recognize I am more than my body. I'm then more than my mind. Then who am I?
Yeah.
Ooh, I love that, Jessa. Do you want to add something to that?
Well, with the last part, I feel like um, I feel like we're all like higher beings, and like she was saying, there are people who have lived longer, and like newer, the older and the younger. Sorry, I couldn't think of the words. And For me, I feel like we're all projections of the same person. Like in my videos, I say, hi, beautiful reflections of me, because we're all reflections of each other. So for me, like past life, like we're all each other's past lives in my mind. Like we're living alternate realities, and and for me, like books and movies, those are our histories. And like if you look at the Akashic records, like those are our past lives. And for me, it's like we're all one consciousness and one universe, like because we're universes, if you think about it. And so like the universe is unending, just like she said. And it's it it's just it, yeah, it's incomprehensible and unable to be put into words, how we're all living each other's lives, and when we're all mirroring each other. And like these, like she was talking about, the soul contracts that we have, where we're forced to treat someone a certain way, or they yeah, it's just incredible how those past lives from previous existences, they have to interact with you in a certain way in this lifetime. So
Shelley,
Can
you
I
have the floor.
can I add something? So basically, these ladies have pretty much explained it. Um, but what I wanted to say, like, say, for example, if I came across someone who did not believe in reincarnation, past lives, what I would say to them is to think about how we are energy. And just like Ameenah said, energy cannot be destroyed or killed or stopped. And if our souls are energy, and when we pass away, that energy doesn't die. So where would it go? It's just floating around. And I would explain to them how, it returns to spirit. And then when you're up there, you can see everything. You can see, okay, everything you did, and okay, well, that path was kind of not what I wanted to do. This one, you know. Um, but that would be the simplest way. Like if I had to tell that to somebody, first thing I would want them to understand is that we're energy, and energy, it doesn't die with us. So that would get them thinking, oh, where does it go? You know, and when people talk about heaven, to me, that's spirit world and that's home. So I would say we go home, regroup, and make our plans and contracts for the next life. And just to throw one little thing, just to totally confuse everybody, all of our lives, all of our past lives and our current life are actually happening at the same time.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah, it's a little hard to wrap your head around that, but it's all happening at the same time. And I don't know if Ameenah or Jessa have ever had the experience of glitching.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Even
like,
overlapping.
yeah, I call it glitching. It's
Yeah.
like for a moment you're like, all of a sudden like, oh, I'm here, like you left, but you don't remember leaving. But then all of a sudden you get this feeling like, wow, I just showed up here. My husband's been talking to me. I didn't hear anything he said because I was gone. It's a weird feeling. It's a cool feeling, but once you understand the glitch, it's a little less scary.
I would like to add something here that I actually, one of my life that I experienced where the, the dates were like overlapping, that the, the parallel life and didn't end yet. And here I am at the same time. But I do know that this is me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fascinating. So when Luisa and I first met, we were both in this online course, and they kind of put you into these breakout rooms for networking purposes. So we were with a bunch of other people, and you're supposed to exchange email addresses and this kind of thing. And I didn't reach out to her at first, but then after a while I reached out to her and I said, do you want to join my accountability group, or actually I said, can I join yours? Just kind of keep each other on track as we're going through this course. And she was like, absolutely. And so it was great. That's literally how we met. And after that we had talked, and we both felt exactly what you're all talking about, that feeling of like, I've known you forever. You're going to be my best friend for the rest of my life now. Like, sorry, you're stuck with me. It was that feeling instantly for me. And so I can definitely relate to a lot of what you're saying, just from kind of somebody who is not gifted in the same way as you all. It's still that feeling where even though I was meeting her over the computer, it was on Zoom, like I still had that feeling. I could still grasp onto her energy in a different way than I have with other people. And I just found that really incredible.
I want to just add a little bit here for Kristyn that we all have this ability and capability when we are here. So some gifted people don't know how to use the gift beginning. So it's more confusion. But when we are able to understand and, focus and train ourselves into that, that's why we do see, right, that some people can, I actually do see people who transition from this world. So there are some direct account from that place, okay, where I can affirm that when I say, yes, energy doesn't die, okay? So then, but we all, have this ability, capability, even if I don't say myself that I'm gifted, but where I am right now, I would say the training, the time, and that dedication, that life purpose clarity led me towards here, and there is no coincidence.
Right.
Can I say
Right.
something? So I think a lot of people might be wondering, like, if it doesn't die, what happens? And I know Shelley touched on it, but the scientific term is thermodynamics, and the full sentence is energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only transform.
Form, yes.
So it changes form. And so when a physical body dies, that the energy that gave us life does not vanish, it simply transforms and transmutes. But the way I've noticed it the most is in my family. my, like how my mom feels like my sister, or my aunt, and my sisters feel like my aunt, or my grandma feels like my daughter, you know, like, and like for me, like my daughter, like with her, she has this wiseness and this like deep understanding and knowing in her eyes. Like you can't get that at 2 years old. Like you have to have prior knowledge, and for her to know like intrinsically, okay, like I recognize this other soul as someone who will take care of me, kind of thing.
Shelley, you wanted to add something as well?
Um, yeah, I'm going to go off of what Jessa just said. With my son has been more of a parent to me, you know, and it's weird. It's like he's the one that encourages me and you know, roots for me and tells me, come on, you can do this type of thing. So I feel like our roles have changed. And I did have a past life memory. I was doing a meditation, and in this memory, I was a little girl, and it was in some war era because the buildings were crumbled and fallen, and there's like smoke everywhere. And I was like hiding and crying in the rubble. And this man came up to me and picked me up and carried me off. And that man was my son. So I think that he has played the parent in our past lives, and that's still coming through, which is really interesting.
That is
Yeah,
so interesting. Yeah.
I do have an experience similar to that, that my adopted mom, I mean, at 2 years old, I've been given to my aunt, and I was the middle one. So it's like not, my parents were rich and we were all girls. So it's not that boy or any kind of this dynamic that makes me understand that why me. So I was there. And then in my first ever regression, that also the memory where I regressed to my past life, and I was only 18 years old. So, and that I was in a war zone. I died, and that was 13th century. I died in the war zone, but I did not know that this was only the half of it. But I do know there is somebody waiting for me. Her name was Zuleka, and she thought that I disappeared, I ghosted. She did not know that I died. So that thing was coming to my present life when I was looking into relationship. So everybody was ghosting me, ghosting me, ghosting me, and I have to learn, because that was the unconscious karma that I have created, where other person is thinking something but not knowing the reality, and died just waiting, thinking about it. And that was the connection. But in this lifetime I was facing, that was my milestone to remember, and I was meeting all those people who has reminding me. So it's not bad of them, I don't see any bad soul. It was just that my milestone, that you have to remember to solve that what you have created to go forward, right? So then, I was meeting all these, and that's where painful part, sitting in a meditation, just a kid, and that memory, and it was just shocking, that is it real, what it is. First the confusion, because I'm not aware of it, and then looking into that, finding somebody, and that's where my journey started as a professional as well. But it was like opening, and then it dawned upon me that this person who was my lover, dedicated her whole life, is my mom, adopted mom. She longed for me so much that in this life, I was only 2, I was being given to her. And I was her whole life, her whole life. And she still is there. So when my son was born, so can you see this connection? So my middle one, born after she passed away. Okay. So now he is 18 years old. So I do see a lot where, he says that what my mom used to say. Okay. And he was not even there when she was there. He came after her. And on top of that, I do get all the time affirmation that she's living with me, not just with myself. One of my sister called me, that your mom, so aunt, they call it aunt, right? The aunt was in my dream, and then she was holding hands of your children. And I said, why you came here? Ameenah doesn't live here. So she said, I live with Ameenah, you know. So that is, affirmation after affirmation after affirmation, that, that connections, they do choose to come here in the physical life, or they also choose to be around their loved ones. It totally depends what their journey, what their what they want in their life when they are in the astral plane, because that's the closest to the earth. And but they are just the intention of it. And even the astral plane has so much vibration that it's separated through vibration, and depend where they are, and there is no time when we are out of this realm. So it's like infinite kind of a situation.
I want to keep going on something that you're kind of digging at a little bit. You're speaking a lot about, and all of you, uncovering your past lives and past relationships that are current relationships in different ways, whether it's parent-child, spouses, whatever that may look like. I'm curious to know how you think helping understanding past lives can help us now release recurring patterns that we get stuck in, or emotional wounds or fears that just don't seem to make sense in this lifetime.
Okay, can I go first?
Go for it.
Okay. So there's always a pattern that we see, and we feel we are stuck. So not necessarily we do see that, oh, it's coming from past life. So when I do past life regression, some people do end up in their past life, though we were not doing past life. So that's the, the memory, that unconscious mind, that is the deepest core, that brings that up, because this is the problem that lies in the past lives. We do see a strong pattern that is coming, okay? I can give you my example, that in my example, I was a cute girl. I was a yes girl. I was like always ready, that okay, So it's not like I approached them. They always approached me, and they ghosted me. So that was something, a pattern, not one person, not two person, 3 person, 4 person. And it just made me think and feel that in my heart, that why I'm facing this. The question led me, of course, when, Rumi said, the crack in the heart is the place from where the light enters. So the pain, it, of course, the same pain, the feelings are same. So it actually triggered the memory, which was there in my unconscious mind about that experience. So the higher self. So when we say we are energy, we are connected. So these are just the ways that jolt, the remembering comes in, that, okay, you have to fix this. See, this is the thing that you have created. Just pay attention, acknowledge that, bring it up. Okay, the moment I acknowledge that, I worked on that, I said sorry, because in that lifetime, definitely I hurted her unknowingly though, but it was. So that, untangling all those unconscious karma that has been created at certain point in our lives, right? And that's where I do see my flourishing relationship just came after. So it was not that, there was some hurdles that was coming from this life. It was coming from the previous unconscious karma that I have created. And we all have, again, I would say the same thing, that it's not the, it's not something that is unfair or cruel. It's just our development, our own evolution. Depends that now I have learned this. And then similarly with my sister also, that she was the one who decided me to be left and die. Okay. And at that time she was, the one who was leading the troop. So, but I did not see, I was hurt, at the same time injured. I saw myself dying alone, and that was the anger and the hurt. What is beneath anger is hurt, right? So in that, so when we were here as a sister, again, the bigger plan is to solve that what was not solved. Why I thought of her like that, and why she did that to me. What was the bigger thing? So the bigger thing that I understood later in this life, to had a peace with my sister as well, was that she has to save so many more lives, and that's where she chose. So if she just chose me, then that means so many more, people, or at that time, soul would be, having that thing, that why me? So it was like a betterment, or maybe what's their contract. I don't know about them, but for me, it was my understanding and learning. And in this life, it was hard to come to that page, because it was same feeling, that why, and anger, and then bully, and all these things come together. But now I would say that she's the most beautiful, wonderful sister, though she had her own journey, or learning, and then she learned, I learned, and thank God that we actually worked on that in this lifetime. So we will be not coming with the same problem in, if we choose, but we will be taking some more challenge, or I don't know. My teacher told me that we have 800 plus lifetimes before we actually go into the place where we would be one. And it all depends that when we are in this realm and spend time, here it seems like thousands and thousands of years, there it just seems one moment. So it's like, when we see into that dynamic, we cannot even comprehend that, because human brain doesn't have this ability to comprehend that what's next. We just know till certain limits. We don't even know. Even people who transition, like, we I also do automatic writing. So there is certain kind of information, but not beyond that. And they also say that we don't know beyond that. And I do know that how people go, angelic realm, and there are so many different names of that. uh, and yes, till certain time you can understand that, but beyond that, nobody knows.
Can I add to that? So when you were talking about karma with past lives, so one of the past life regressions that I've done and found that affects me the most is I was super greedy in a past life, and I hoarded money and like Scrooge like energy, and so my soul contract this lifetime was a vow of poverty. And so I've had to overcome that and do healing on that past life, and the that all of the greed, and and now I'm like super in this lifetime I'm super selfless, and I put people above myself, but then to the detriment of myself, where and the lifetime after that one was a slave. So then I've got super rich and then super poor and not able to make any money. So now I just don't know what to do with money, and it's really affected me in this lifetime, just like you've said, Ameenah. And it's the way that I have used with past life regression is the Akashic records. I've done guided meditations and stuff to meet my past lives, and where I use the Akashic records to rewrite my history. So it's like reprogramming. So it's like rewriting the past like it's a story in front of me, and then rewriting the ending so that it ends in a way where I have, where it affects me to the point where this lifetime I am healed from it. So yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to, Jessa, when you're talking about the lifetime where you were really greedy and you're kind of Scrooge-ish and all that stuff, and now you're very giving, I totally can relate to that. I remember I have a lot of ties to Egypt, and I was also a witch in like 4 lives that I know of, but this Egyptian one, I was like a priestess or a high, where I was carried around in those things. And I guess I was very like mean and demanding and, you know, not a good person. And what they did was they threw me in a very deep, deep, deep pit. And I remember being in the pit, looking up, and that's all I remember. But it makes sense that in this lifetime, I am so sensitive and so kind. Again, I don't think it's to my detriment, but the sensitivity can be sometimes, but the kindness, you know, you can never have too much kindness. So I can totally relate with that. Like, so you can see if in what roles you've played in past lives, and maybe understand why you are the way you are in this one. Another one was, well, like I said, I've been a witch several lifetimes, and I'm still a witch because back in the day, mediums were called witches because we commune with the dead. So technically, I'm still a witch. But there was a lot of, I was burned, I was hung, I was beheaded. But the one that really affected me was, I was talking with my spiritual mentor and crying about my dog that I had lost, and just like, I mean, I was so devastated because I felt like her and I had such a connection, and she was only 3 years old when she was killed, and it was just such a traumatic thing that like I couldn't get over it. And so she read me and she said, well, here's what I see. I see you're a witch, and you've got 2 small children, and they're holding your hands. One's a girl, one's a boy. And they take your children and they kill them in front of you before they kill you. And so it made sense that my sensitivity and how much I hold on to my dogs, like how much they mean to me, because I've had my children taken away and killed in front of me. So that explains that aspect of why I am so, I mean, I have to be like sedated or something when I lose a dog. I'm so bad. I can't even handle it. So that's how I see past lives affecting, or not really affecting, but maybe making the connection as to why we're the way we are right now. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And I would also say not just the, the lessons that we have to learn, but the gifts as well, that creativity as well, that we are bringing from our past lives, because that's, again, we have learned that experience. We have learned that what we have been given. So now we have all that experiences, and that's where we are here, and we can, sense it when, people have this wisdom, people have this understanding. And like Shelley said, I had lifetimes in Egypt too. And then I traced my history in this life. Yes, we do have that in Egypt, and that's where the proof is, because I belong to the Sufi sect of Islam. And for 150 years, they were in Egypt. So it makes perfect sense to me that why I got drawn to that. And then when I was also in the court with Nefertiti, so I was doing the same thing which I'm doing right now. And this woman, I told you that she found me here, okay? She was the one with whom I worked in that time. So it was double, affirmation on that I saw that, and then she was there to affirm me that. And I was doing the exact same thing, of course, according to the time at that time. But again, working with people, but was representative of that, royals and all these things. But my job was the same. I was never a king or Cleopatra. I haven't seen myself that. But the what I am doing was the similar thing that I was doing at that time.
Can I add one quick thing? Um, So I think it's important for people who like haven't done past life regressions to know that even dreams can be memories from the past, you know? And sorry, I think the most memories I've had from the past is from dreams. And I've had dreams, like memories from even back when I was in heaven and I was a caged demon, and Heavenly Father or God or whatever you want to call it was giving me a chance to come back to earth if I would be his servant, you know? So it's like the the dreamscape is where like those kind of downloads can come, and you can do meditations before bed to like welcome those dreams. And then what I do is when I wake up I'll channel write my dreams, and a lot of the times they're past life experiences.
I am so enjoying hearing everybody's past life experiences and how it's impacted your current life. It's just fascinating. As we kind of wind down a little bit here, we've got one last question for everyone. I'm really curious to know what's one past life insight or session, or maybe the most significant one, that has personally shifted you in a way that you still carry today. Shelley, why don't we start with you?
Um, I'm gonna say that the whole being a witch and being killed for being a witch has really affected me, because when I first had my awakening, realizing what I could do, I was so scared to tell anybody. So I was like, I'm not telling anyone because they're gonna think I'm crazy, and So I had like this fear of prosecution, or fear of something. If somebody finds out, they're gonna. And it didn't really make sense, because this is such. There's so many of us out there now, and I mean, the ones on TV, that it's like it's out there and people are watching this and stuff. So why was I still so afraid to step out of it? And I had one of the readings from this amazing lady, and she said, nowadays it's totally accepted. It's well known. There's people like, she told me everything I just told you, and there's no reason to hide, right? So I think that from all the lives that I was a witch and was killed really affected me a lot. And now I've learned to, like, for example, I'll make this quick. The one where my two children were killed in front of me, and then I was killed. My mentor asked me, she said, "Can you forgive that?" And I was like, it took a little while. She says, "Can you forgive that, what happened? Just in that." And so I worked on it, and I got to where, yeah, I totally forgive it, because that was my life path then. And it helped me in dealing with my dog that I lost. It helped me, like, a little bit of letting go. So that, I don't know if that answers your question, but
That was great.
Can I add to that? So for me, the most beneficial thing has been generational work, like cords, chains, and curses, like removing those kind of things, and ancestral healing, because we are our own ancestors. So if we heal our ancestors, we're healing ourselves, and we're healing for 7 generations forward and 7 generations backwards. And for me, why I wanted to build off Shelley is because, like, I had so what I want to say about past lives as a way to recognize them is birthmarks. So your birth, like, if you have a birthmark, it means you died violently in a past life, and that's like where you died. And so I have a past life where my mom was my sister, and I was tied to a post and she shot me with arrows, but I have a birthmark in like a circle on my chest, right on my ribs right here, and it's the final shot that killed me, was the shot in the ribs. And so but what that has to do with Shelley is that I had to heal that relationship and that trauma of my mom being the one who killed my mom's sister mom being the one who killed me, in that betrayal. And like the trust is hard to have there. And so that's why I feel like the generational work has been the most beneficial, because healing that trauma and baggage for the whole family has healed it the most for me.
Wow. That's cool. Sorry, my dog. Sorry.
That's pretty impactful. Yeah. How about you, Ameenah? Anything?
Yeah, I would definitely say that my very first, regression, which happened just abruptly in my meditation, and a lot of pain led towards that understanding. So that lesson, that learning was that I still feel that eternity of soul, embracing who am I without fear, knowing that this life, whatever challenges I'm facing, is the challenge, and I have the ability to understand that, and how my life will change, not just in this life, but I am achieving or getting more closer to my soul purpose. And that's my learning. That's very impactful. That anything after that, I do see things, but it doesn't mean that I didn't have any challenges. I don't call that problems anymore, because that's, I learned that challenges, we can always go, complete the challenge, and that's so exciting, and that curiosity, that's my learning, and I'll keep that forever. And that led me to my expansion of not just this lifetime, but remembering all the gifts. I don't fear anymore. I do try. I don't take things personally, because I do know that everybody is having their own experiences, and not judging anybody. And I do talk a lot about all these things in everyday TikTok live with the same name, Ameenah Tabani. So, I'm very much active in my soul purpose to understand, to learn, and help as well, because I do know that it took me some times or years, but now I just do it because I actually tell everybody that they can do anything, and they can be closer to themselves in this age and day, because this is an awareness time.
Wow, so impactful. Thank you all so much for coming on today and sharing not just your stories, but your knowledge and your wisdom with everyone. I personally feel that it's so important for us to be aware of just, another way that we can heal, because I feel like there's a lot of suffering in the world. And what y'all did here today is amazing, because I think that with more ways that we can all heal, I think we're all doing, what we came here to do. So thank you so much to each and every one of you. And to our free spirits, if you're feeling that tug in your soul, that there's more to your story, that something deeper is calling you, you're not imagining it. You are remembering.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and thank you to our incredible guests for sharing their wisdom, energy, and gifts with us today. And thank you, dear listener, for flying upstream with us toward your truth, your healing, and your freedom.
Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who needs it. And as always, trust your knowing. You're not lost. You're just remembering your way back to yourself. And of course, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep flying upstream. Until next time.